We're almost finished on the F1 forum, but we are going to hear from the Formula One world champion in just a moment. But first, that was an interview with Jenson Button in what they call the driver's pen, and we saw yesterday after qualifying, we followed Paul di Resta going into there. It's a place that all the drivers go together. They then speak to the media that either they choose or the media that wants to speak to them, and they're as close to each other as we are here. Often after quite a difficult race on track, sometimes they're next to a friend, sometimes next to a rival. However, today in there, this is what happened. Have a little look at this.
I will describe it, Lewis.
Otherwise, congratulations to Sebastian.
Good job, Very good. I will describe it, Lewis.
Otherwise, congratulations to Sebastian.
Good job, Very good. I wouldn't agree with him.
Well, let's just put that into context, Martin, and you're the only one here that can explain to us. After a Grand Prix, emotions are running high, there's plenty of adrenaline coursing around your body, and obviously when Felipe popped in there, he didn't actually mean good job, Lewis, did he? It was quite clear what he meant there.
Yeah, he was razzing him up, and he succeeded, didn't he? And Lewis is obviously still tormented by the fact he got a penalty that he doesn't think he should have had. He hasn't had the opportunity to see the video footage and take another judgment on that. You know, and he's entitled to his opinion, and quite clearly he was pretty angry, wasn't he? And that was just a trigger, wasn't it? It just absolutely went off.
Well done, though. You know, Lewis was reserved on the track when he wanted to finish the race in Italy, and actually quite reserved there, because that could have escalated a little bit. You know, Lewis held his own there.
Let's see how it happened. I thought Massa, in his way, he did it in a very sarcastic way, which meant that it was probably, it wasn't totally confrontational. By that I mean he put the thumb up and he says, well done, mate.
He didn't mean it, though.
Of course he didn't mean it. He meant absolutely the opposite. But it was a way, he didn't actually show him his fist, or he didn't push him, or he didn't do anything. He just said, in a most sarcastic way, well done. Therefore, I think it just evaporated, and they will make it up. I hope so, because they're actually two good guys.
And they're mates, actually.
If it was a rugby field or a football pitch, there'd be fisticuffs, wouldn't it? And that's how that sort of thing, no problem. That's how that sort of thing gets resolved, isn't it? And and it's acceptable almost in that environment. In Formula One, with sponsors all over you, it's just not acceptable. I'm sure at that moment, Lewis might have thrown a punch if it had been a different sport.
Well, absolutely. If he was in New Zealand at the World Cup, they'd be both in the sin bin by now.
Very true.
You know, that's the great thing about Formula One. They are very controlled people. I think they're supreme athletes, and I'm glad to see that didn't escalate into anything silly.
I've seen worse with my dad at the Upper Stoke Holy Cross vegetable growing competition, so it's nothing too much to worry about, I don't think. Right.